Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of The Writer's Block. It is your host, Aaron from the Ballpit here. And today we are continuing with the second part of a 18, part series where I basically rank every Pokemon within a certain Pokemon type. And at the end, I'm going to find out what the best type to me is. Last week I ranked the bug type. Now it's time for the dark type because that's how the alphabet works. And quick, before I get into it, this ranking is based totally on my opinion. It's not based on any statistics or objective facts, except it kind of is based on objective facts because my opinion is correct and no other opinion is valid. All right, getting that out of the way, let's get right into ranking, where if a Pokemon is ranked A, look at 5 points, F, 1 point, everything in between. Get the mathematical value of how much they mean to me. All right, let's start with Alolan Rattata, because all the Gen 1 Pokemon that are dark types are basically either like other forms like Alolan forms or like mega forms or whatever else, because they didn't have the dark type in Gen 1 and they did not go back and give those Pokemon a different type like they did with the Steel type or Fairy type. Let's just Alolan Rattata. I'm gonna give it a D. I don't really think we needed it. And I'm also gonna give Alolan Raticate an F. I just don't think this line is super important. I think if you're gonna give another form to Rattata and Raticate, you can do it in a better way. That's not just basically taking it and making it have dark fur instead. I think that's pretty lazy change, and I can't say I really support it. And then we have Alolan Meowth. I'm gonna give Alolan Meowth a C. I don't really care for it. I think similar to Rattata and Raticate, not enough changed for me to really get behind it. And then Persian's an F. I just think it looks stupid. I don't really like it. I'm going to give Alolan Grimer a B and Alolan Muck an A. You took Muck and Grimer, which are pretty much Pokemon nobody gives a shit about except getting pissed off when they use, Minimize. And I think it's actually a cool design. I love the colors on it. I think it was really unique way to give Muck and Grimer something cool about them. So I support it. Mega Gyarados. You guys are going to get mad at me for this one. Excuse me. Do not DM me when I'm in the middle of an important business opportunity of ranking Pokemon. God. I'm giving it an F. Look. Hear me out. I think Megas should have been given to Pokemon that needed a little boost. A little something. Gyarados did not fucking need that boost. It didn't. Gyarados is a phenomenal Pokemon. It did not need to change. I don't really like how it looks. I think the original looks better. And I don't think it needed to be a dark type. I liked water flying type. I thought it was good. I like original Gyarados. I don't think a Mega was needed. I do not support it. I do not think it should exist. Therefore, it gets an F. That's really what F tier means. It shouldn't exist. All right. Galarian Moltres. Fucking A tier. Look at it. It took Moltres, which is the most bland, one of the most bland legendary Pokemon going. Possibly the worst one. And made it a banger with the black and the red color scheme. How can you not like it? How can you not? I love it. I love the color scheme that they did with it. A tier. Won't hear it any other way. I would sooner get rid of original Moltres and put this in its fucking place, to be honest. On that note, Umbreon. A tier. It's so clean. The best evolution. Don't fucking at me. It's super clean. The Shiny's clean too. The Shiny's not playing a role in this right now because I don't know Shinies like that. But it's just a super clean Pokemon. Super cute. I like to use it. Umbreon. It's an A tier. What did you expect from me? Did you expect me to put it lower? If you did, you're kind of tripping. Murkrow, B tier. Solid Pokemon. I enjoy it. It is missing a little something, which obviously I guess evolutions, which may or may not fix that for me. So it's just gonna get a B tier. It's just solid. Quillfish. I'm gonna go D tier. I don't think Quillfish should be a dark type. I think it should be a poison water type. I think it should definitely be a water type. It's a fucking fish. Hello. Like, I just don't really love it. And so it's gonna get a D tier. I think it should be a water type, and it's not, and I don't really like that. Sneasel, fucking A tier. I mean, that Pokemon is so fire. Like, I mean, just look at it. It's the first Pokemon, honestly, truly on this list that starts to go away from like, oh, it's just an animal. I guess Muck and Grimer, because they're not animals, but they're just goo. But like the Rattatas and Raticates, animals, Persian Meowth, just cats. This is a ugly dragon. This is like a pufferfish. This is a bird. This is a cool bird, but still a bird. This is like a weird cat thing. And while this is like also like a feline cat thing, it's at least got some personality to it. It's got a little something there that's not just animal. And I appreciate that. I also like Sneasel. I think it's a good introduction for an ice type. I think it's a good dark type. I've had good experiences using it in Weavile. I like it. And you know what? I'm just going to continue this. I'm going to say every Houndoom here is getting an A tier, man. Houndoom is one of the most fire Pokemon going. Look at it. Every single one is fire. Even the Mega. The Mega doesn't take away from the original, but it also doesn't add too much more the original doesn't already have. That's one of the most perfect lines you got in this Pokémon shit. Just straight through. Got the Houndoom line. It's phenomenal. It's one of the ones that goes down in history. It's a ton of people's favorite, and for very good reason. A tiers. Okay. Mega Tyranitar. F tier. Here's why. Normal Tyranitar. A tier. Should be, if I had an S tier, it would be an S tier. A plus tier, whatever. Give it 10 points. Give it 20 points. Give it 30 points. Tyranitar is one of the best Pokemon in this game, if not the best. If not. It's one of the best ones going. Inspired by Godzilla, which I've been watching the Godzilla movie since I was a kid. As fire, it's a massive rock monster that can literally scrap with mountains and win. Obviously, regular Godzilla would be a water dragon type, so it's not a direct like transition or a direct implementation into the game, but it's an inspiration, and it's fire. Tyranitar is fire, and base form Tyranitar, one of the strongest Pokemon going. I mean, there's not too many Pokemon that just go scrap with mountains, number one. And then number two is it's just, I mean, it's a pseudo legend. It's got hands on it, man. You don't need a Pokemon like that does not need a Mega. And I don't think the Mega really looks that good. I don't really like it. I don't think the Mega adds that much. I don't think that Mega should exist. So the Mega is going to F tier, and the regular is going to A tier. Now, Poochyena and Mightyena are C tiers to me. They're just dogs. They're just dogs. It's not that I don't have a distaste for them. I don't think they shouldn't exist. But at the same time, I don't have a huge love for them in the same way that I do other dark-type Pokemon. I don't really feel a whole lot towards them. And that's why they're good. It's a good placement to put them in the C tier. It's like right in the middle, right in that average range. Now, we got Galarian, Zigzagoon, and Linoon. I'm putting them both at B tier. I think it's a really cool change from original Zigzagoon and Linoon. I like the color swap. They're a little bigger, I think, in size. I think that's cool. I just like the color schemes. I like that they were able to kind of stay true to the original design of those Pokemon while still giving them interesting enough changes to warrant me wanting to use it. And yeah, that's cool. They're going to B tier. Going at B tier. Nuzleaf. Going to D tier, man. He's just so puntable. I mean, he's got the body of dare I say, a penis, essentially. Not really, though. I guess now that I'm looking at it a little more, you cut off its feet, get rid of its arms. I mean, you would need to see a doctor if your shit looked like that, but like, you get what I'm saying. Immaturity aside, it's very puntable. It looks like it would be really fucking annoying. It looks like Nuzleaf looks like it has the energy of like a ferret on meth. And like, that's just not something I ever want to deal with. I do not like it. However, Shiftry, B tier. That's a solid mon right there. That's a solid mon right there. Not in terms of its ability to do basically fucking anything in the game, because it's a goddamn useless Pokemon. But it's cool. And so we get some points for that. Now we have Sableye. Regular Sableye, I'm going to give a C tier. I'm going to give the Mega B tier. Regular Sableye, I just kind of look at it and I go, dude, what the fuck y'all doing? Like, what even is you? What is you? I don't even know. And then the Mega, it's a Pokemon that desperately needed a Mega, and the Mega improves on the design with the big-ass fucking gemstone, but not enough where I can be like, yeah, that's definitely a solid mon. It's just okay, and the original's just strange. I don't really know what to make of it, which is why I'm putting it in C tier. Because if I'm confused and I don't know what the fuck is going on when I look at it, I can't have feelings about it in any way, because I'm still trying to figure out what the fuck is going on. Then we have Carvanha, which I'm gonna put, okay, here's what I'm gonna do. Carvanha is going to C. Sharpedo is going to A, and so is Mega Sharpedo. They're just cool. I mean, they're sharks. Look at me. Look at me. Do you think I'm a guy who doesn't like sharks? No, I look like the guy who likes sharks, right? I look like a guy who watches Shark Week. Do I watch Shark Week? Occasionally. Leave me alone, all right? Sharks are cool. I like sharks. I wouldn't want to be around one, like right next to it. I'm not that fucking brand of white that just goes in the cage to go hang out with the great whites. But I think they're cool to watch from a distance while on land. Or not see them, not be able to physically see them, but see them through a camera. That's the sweet spot right there. And so next on the actual Pokedex order are Cacturne and Crawdon. The tier list I used, forgot them. So I added them, which is why they look stupid down here. Cacturne, I just fucking D tier. I just don't understand why it's not doing it for me. Something about Cacturne is just not doing it for me. I think that cactuses should be better respected, and that the two types of cactus Pokemon we have are not doing it, and Cacturne is one of them. Then we have Crawdon. That's a B Pokemon to me, and that's cool. I like crawfish. I like that it's a dark type. I think it's actually fitting for a dark type. I think it's a cool design. I like it. I'm a fan. Absol, fucking A tier, and so is Mega Absol. I mean, Absol looks like it's the type of Pokemon that when you see it, you know you're about to have a bad day, bro. It's like Absol reminds me of Lucifer in the show Lucifer. I'm sure Absol's a great guy when you get to know him, but when you see him, you're like, fuck. Not today, Satan. Not today, Satan. Literally, in the case of Lucifer, the show. That's what it kind of gets me of. It's a super sleek, super cool design, and the Mega only takes what worked so well before and adds to it to make it different enough, but not so much better or so much worse that it warrants a drop or a drop for the original or a drop for the Mega. Honchkrow, A tier. Look, I'm a fan of the mob stuff, right? The Sopranos. And this is the Pokemon. They give you the kiss of death. This is the Don. The head Honchkrow, if you will. This is the big boss behind the scenes. This is the Giovanni of the dark type Pokemon. This the guy. This the boss. This the big homie. The OG. All of it. This is him. This is the ultimate Pokemon. This and Tyranitar should go up to a separate tier with the 6-point tier, the S tier. These are some top Pokemon designs and naming. I am here for it. Stunky. C tier. It's just a skunk. And then skunk tank, I'm actually going to go B tier. Has nothing to do with the design. Design-wise, it's C tier. However, in random battles, which I play decently often, casually, I like using skunk tank. I think it's cool. People often forget that it always has a fire type move, which is helpful when it tries to send out a steel type, so you can't poison it. And then you'll be able to fire blast it, and you fuck their day up. Good memories. And that bias is carrying it's with me. Spiritomb. Fucking A tier. The lore behind Spiritomb is sick as fuck. The idea that there's 107 or something souls inside this keystone, and you bring it all together, and it's just this cloud, this just being, this entity of death. This is whenever shit really starts to go wrong, that the Haunch Crow himself says, hey, release the Spiritomb to send some of these motherfuckers to the Spiritomb, if you get what I'm saying. Drapion. A tier. I know. I'm doing a lot of A tiering. Drapion has an argument in my heart to be my favorite Pokemon. I love Drapion so much, and it is so sick. It is a massive fucking scorpion, and I love that. I've used it in any game I play that I can use Drapion. I do use Drapion. I love that Pokemon. I'm a big fan. I might be the number one Drapion fan. I don't actually mean it. I'm sure there's somebody out there who actually is the number one Drapion fan who's going to leak my IP address because they saw this. You're the one. You're the boss. You're the Haunch Crow of that John. But phenomenal Pokemon. And you know what? While on the list of phenomenal Pokemon, Weavile's going, not in B tier, is going up there too. Weavile's going up there too. Who gonna stop me? Nobody. I already went on about why Weavile's A tier when I went on about why Sneasel is A tier. You're just going to have to live with that. Y'all about to get mad at me. Darkrai? B tier. I don't really have that much fondness for this Pokemon. Like, the Pokemon in the A tier are ones that I think the design is sick, and I have personal, like, positive emotional feeling towards it. Look at that Pokemon and go, that's my guy. All of them up there in A tier are my guy. Darkrai, it's just not my guy. I don't know what it is. Everything about his design should put him in A tier for me. Everything about his lore and feasting on dreams and shit should put him in A tier for me. It's just not. I don't really have any other way to put it. And if you were thinking that there was actually some logic that went into this tier list, here's how you know that there's not. I could make this tier list 100 times and it wouldn't look the same any of the times. There'd probably be no time where they replicated themselves. It's just how I feel, man. I just go off gut instinct when I look at the Pokemon at the moment. And so next we have Samurott. But this is an OG Samurott. This is Legend Samurott. Legend Samurott. A tier. A tier. I know. I'm doing a lot of A tiers. But it's so cool. Low key, should Samurott probably be a water fighting type, like in the actual Gen 5? Yeah. You could have made Pignite or whatever, Emboar or whatever, not firefighting again and make it water fighting. It makes sense. It's based on a samurai. However, I love the design that they went for Hisuian Samurott. I'm a big fan of it. And as much as I dislike Oshawott, this Pokemon makes me want to choose Oshawott to, just have to sit through the suffering of dealing with an Oshawott to get to this end product. And that says a lot, because I really fucking hate Oshawott. which is not going to get me any fans, but what are you going to do? All right, Purloin. All right, so here, we gotta make eye contact. We're going to have a conversation. I have a very heavy Gen 5 bias. We all play with bias. It's the way of the world. And this is something you're going to have to get around. However, I'm going to do my best to separate myself from the bias. But to me, Purloin. Purloin's an A tier. Purloin is an A tier. Having a cat dark type, like a true house cat dark type, makes so much sense for anybody that owns cats. They see a house cat dark type. I'm not going to talk about Meowth. That's a true house cat, that Purloin. It makes sense. It just makes sense. I love the color schemes. A lot of memories of collecting Purloin out on Route 1 or whatever the fuck. And wherever Unova's starting town is. You know what? It's just bias we play with. However, Liepard, D tier. So when I look at Purloin, I see a certain mischievous energy to it. In the way that when you own a kitten, you realize that the crime rate in your house increases by about 85%. I see that when I look at Purloin. That same mischievous personality, in a lot of ways, feels like it disappears with Liepard. And I feel like that's a lot of what carries me to that A tier for Purloin. And they took all of that out when they evolved it into Liepard. So I'm going with D tier. I still like it, and I don't still like it. It's still an okay Pokemon. It's not something I'm like, we have to get rid of it, like the F tier ones. But I think they could have done better. Okay, this is gonna. All right, and we gotta be diplomatic about how we approach this. However, Sandile, fucking A tier. There is no argument you could present me about how this is not one of the top tier little guys in Pokemon. Just look at his eyes. Even in that little picture right there on the A tier thing, he's just such a little guy, and I love him. You will not take that away from me, comment section. You will not. Okay. Krokorok. And then Crocodile. Look. It's a fucking mischievous, dark type sand crocodile. That's everything I want. Ground type is one of my favorite Pokemon types. I love the black striped design, and especially the red and black on Crocodile. It's a Gen 5 Pokemon. It's a Gen 5 Pokemon that always finds a spot on my final team. Always. And I love it. I love using it. I love the design. I love everything about it. It's one of my personal favorite designs in all of Pokemon, which means the whole line gets an A. That's top tier Pokémon creation. Scraggy and Scrafty are fucking F tiers to me. These Pokemon shouldn't exist, and it's borderline offensive that they do. This dark type, fighting type Pokemon that's in Unova, it's supposed to be based on America, are basically humanoids that are sagging their pants and steal things. That's just, it's just so on the nose. It's just a little too much for me. I don't think this Pokemon should exist. I don't think there's any reason for it to exist. I think you could have removed it from Gen 5 and nobody would care. Then you could have removed it from the Mon list in total and nobody would care. It shouldn't exist. Stupid fucking Pokemon. Don't like it. Now, Zorora, B tier. It's just a dog or a fox or whatever the fuck this thing is. But it's black and red. It's cool. It's simple. It's clean. I like it. Zoroark, though, is a fucking A tier. A tier. You can't. Come on. The whole lore of it being able to like shapeshift essentially like into another Pokemon and like put up the illusion is so sick. It's a little humanoid for me. But it works. I like it. I'm here for it. I like the design. Sue me. Pawniard, C tier. Bisharp is B tier, and then I'm assuming you can tell by the trajectory of such where King Gambit will go eventually. But we have to get there. Volbeat or Volibee is fucking F tier. I mean, I get what they were going for with it still having the shell that kind of looks like a diaper, but that type of design is really a turnoff for me. Like, it's really not something that gets the serotonin flowing through my brain. Not a lot does, to be fair, but it just doesn't. It's a little gross, and I feel like either you could have just had Mandibuzz be a solo, no pre-evolved form, or done better with the pre-evolved form. However, Mandibuzz is B tier. Yeah, it's B tier. Don't put it in A. It's B tier. It's B tier. It's B tier. It's staying, Aaron. You're not moving it. Okay. It's B tier. A Vulture being a dark type Pokemon makes sense. Makes a lot of sense, right? Exactly what it should be. Having said that, the design, it's not something that I'm like in love with. What was making me want to put it at A is that it is a good design and it does make sense. But the A tiers of the Pokemon where I'm like, that's a good fucking pocket monster. And with Mandibuzz, I go, that's a decent or a solid pocket monster, not a great one. So it deserves B. It deserves it. All right, we have Dano or whatever. Fucking honestly, I don't really give a shit about either of these Pokemon. I do care about Hydreigon. I don't give a shit about the two pre-evolved forms. Hydreigon is B tier. And you're probably like, wow, I'm surprised they didn't put it in A tier. It's just a little too much for me. It's a little too complicated. It's a little too bulky. There's a little too much going on. I think you could have done a Hydra Pokemon way better than they did. I don't really love the kind of like purplish, pinkish, and then blue and black color scheme. It doesn't really do a lot for me. But at the same time, it is cool because it is a Hydra Pokemon. So it is actually, I'm going to put it at C. I'm put the whole line at C. I convinced myself to lower it. I think that's fair. I like that. Okay. Then we have both fucking Greninja types. We have like Ash Greninja right there, and then regular Greninja. I'm just gonna place them the same because I don't even know what the fucking difference between Ash Greninja is. It doesn't really mean a lot to me, personally. Greninja's. Is Greninja really an A tier? Or is it a... I think it's a B tier. The reason I'm faltering is I just don't think I can put Greninja with the other A tier Pokemon. Like, I don't think it deserves it. I don't think it deserves that placement, and it's not going to get it. I get it. It's a sick design. It's a frog ninja. I really get it. I understand it. Trust me. I understand what they were going for. I think they killed it. It just doesn't hit me in the same way those A tiers does. And I feel like as much as you guys are probably saying, man, he just fucking fills the A tier with whatever he wants, those Pokemon in the A tier are all special to me in some way. And Greninja's really not in that same way. Pangoro is going to go B tier. Pangoro is a Pokemon that absolutely screams A tier potential to me. In random battles, when I get a Pangoro, it never really seems to do what I want it to. It never really seems to go how I think I want it to go or how it should go. And for that reason, it's going B tier because I just kind of got some disdain for it. Now, Inkay and Malamar. Inkay is an A tier. that's just a little guy. He's so cute. I really like him. I like his little hat. I like that he's a little kind of flowy, like a squid or whatever it's supposed to be. Like, I like it. I get it. Malamar, C tier. It's cool, which is what gives it extra points, but it also looks a little weird. Like, I don't love the body shape and coloring and the way the legs kind of work. I don't think it should be standing like that. And those two things kind of pull on each other, and I just kind of feel most comfortable putting it right at C. Now, how the fuck do you pronounce this Pokemon's name? Yveltal? I've never known how to pronounce it. Yveltal, Yveltal, this fucking Y shitter. It's an A tier. It's an A tier. No, it's not. It's B tier. It's B tier. I put it in A tier because it's really so fucking cool. Like, it's a really cool Pokemon. It's one of the coolest Pokemon, period, I think. But again, I just don't have that feeling, that little like happy boost that I get when I look at the Pokemon in the A tier. I don't feel it when I look at that Pokemon, so it's gotta go B tier. Hoopa, this is the Unbound form. It's fucking F. I don't think Hoopa should exist. Personally, I've never liked Hoopa in any form, in any fashion. I don't like Hoopa. I don't think it should exist. Get rid of Hoopa. Don't like it. Incineroar. I'm going to go D tier on Incineroar. And that might be a bit of a hot take. It honestly might be a bit of a hot take. But it's too anthropomorphic for me. It's too humanoid. It's too... I just don't love it. Like, it looks like it was made to sell Pokemon or Nintendo branded fursuits, and I don't love that design. I just don't love it. It makes me a little uncomfortable, honestly, to look at Incineroar. I just don't love it. And I don't know if that's the design itself or the connotation or whatever else that has kind of coincided alongside the design for a while because of how it's been taken. I'm going to leave it down there in D tier. Guzzlord. That's a fucking A tier mon, man. Come on now. Guzzlord's an A tier mon. It is the ever consumer of the worlds. I mean, it's just super cool. It's super weird, but I also like weird shit sometimes. Like, I think it's weird in a way that I like. I like the idea of Guzzlord that just consumes everything. The glutton Pokemon as an Ultra Beast. I just like it. Now we have Nickit and Thievul. These are B tier mods for me. Because ultimately they're just foxes, but I think the design of like the tail swiping away like track marks and footprints, as well as the names like Nick It being to nick something or steal it, and then Thievul. I just think it's super on the nose, but in a cute and kind of quirky way. Not like, oh, it's so cute and quirky. I'm a quirky girl. Not like that, but like genuinely just like a unique way. And I like it. I mean, honestly, these two are fucking demon spawns. They terrify me. They're some of the scariest Pokemon on this list of Pokemon that are all supposed to be scary. I hate them. They should burn in everlasting hellfire. However, having said that, Grimmsnarl is an A tier. And the Gigantamax form is also an A tier. That's top tier Pokemoning, especially that Gigantamax form. Making it a giant being that's based on its hair rather than just it being giant is hilarious. And I like it. I do think it's good design. I've had good times using it. I think it takes away the demon spawn type shit that happens with the other two pre-evos. And I think it really rounds out the line and honestly saves it from being one of my least favorite lines in all of Pokemoning. Obstagoon. You'll see that I've put Galarian, Zigzagoon, and Ligoon at B tier. But Galarian, or not Galarian, no, Obstagoon is a fucking A tier, baby. Let's go. Let's go. You took a Mon nobody gave a shit about. Nobody cared about Zigzagoon or Ligoon. Ever. Ever. There was nothing past Ligoon. Nobody cared about it, except maybe for some belly drum antics. But there's better Mons. There's better pocket Mons you could use for some belly drum antics. Obstagoon, fire. fire punk rock band member, one of the leads, probably the lead singer. Come on, it's everything I could ever want out of what Pokemon does when they add regional forms. It's everything I could want. It's everything I could need. It's my lifeblood. It's my necessary nutrients. It's my crack. Just inject it into my veins. I need it. Oh, I love the design so much. I love it. And now this little fucking guy, Morpeko or whatever, is an A-tier mon. I think the whole hunger switch form is super funny. Morpeko is really not the same till he's had a Snickers or whatever else the line is. I think it's super cute. I think it's super cool. And I'm a big fan of that mon. I'm a big fan of it. Now we have the Urshifu, Normal, and G-Max. Honestly, they're both going to F tier. They're just, again, F tier Pokemon I really don't think should exist. And I see no reason for the Urshifus to exist. They're basically just dudes. They're just dudes that can fight. They're annoying to come across when you play any form of Showdown because they're just too good. They're just too broken. But they don't really have a design that I think should warrant it. I don't really have any form of care for the Urshifus. And I don't really, if they didn't exist, I wouldn't really be sad about it. Then we have Zarude, which is an A tier. Like, that's how you do a fucking monkey Pokemon. Okay, so there's two ways to do a monkey Pokemon. There's Grookey. Okay, this Pokemon is one of the cutest things I've ever seen in my entire life. I love him. He's just such a little guy. That's one way to do a monkey Pokemon. The second way is, oh my fucking god, that thing is going to rip my arms out and beat me to death with them. And that's what Zarude does. That's the energy Zarude exhibits. And I feel like we've had quite a bit of monkey Pokemon, and we've never had the rip off your arms and beat you to death with it type of monkey Pokemon. So I'm here for it. I'm a fan of it. Ready. Overquill. Honestly, similar problem that I had with Quillfish, but it's better. It is better. Slightly. So, it's going to go up there. I understand that this Quillfish is a regional form, but I don't like it. I don't think it deserved it. I think it should have just gotten Overquill. Put it at C tier. Mousecurata. Is that how you say it? Mousecurata. D tier, along with the other anamorphic starter Pokemon. It's just a design. I think it's too much. I think there's too many elements to the design. The design is not smooth or simple enough for me. Too anamorphic. Not a fan. Put it at D tier. Low Kicks, also a D tier. I don't think that it absolutely shouldn't exist, but I also really don't care about it. Mashchiff, C tier. Just a dog. That's really all I gotta say about it. Just a dog. Mbostiff is an A. He's the boss Pokemon. He's out here right next to Honchkrow. Make sure shit goes down. And then also the whole storyline with like Arven and him trying to get the Herba Mystica to save the dog. Like, my heart's not made of stone, okay? It got me. I like it. I like Pokemon. I like it a lot. I want it to not die. I want it to get better, etc., etc., etc. Bombirdier, I mean, D tier, because I think it should be a flying rock type with rocky payload as an ability and shit. Like, I don't understand why it's a dark type, really. I don't think it needs to be a dark type. I don't think it's that interesting as a dark type. I just don't love it. And as you heard me mention before when I talked about Pawniard and Bisharp, King Gambit is a fucking A. The Pawniard to Bishop needed an evolution for forever, even though Toxic Sludge Bisharp is the best Pokemon going. It needed an evolution, and King Gambit is that evolution. I love the ability Supreme Overlord. I just love how they added to the design in a way that still makes it cool while still obviously being a part of the original line. I'm totally here for it. I like it. Brute Bonnet, F tier. It doesn't need to exist. It really doesn't. Amogus did not need a Paradox form. And every time I look at Brute Bonnet, all I hear is Mr. One-Ups going, come here, Brute Boy.
Here, Brute Boy, you can hold my beer.
I'll have to add that clip in. It's so funny. It's just a laughing stock Pokemon, honestly. It doesn't need to exist. Put it in F tier. Iron Jugulus, also a fucking F tier. Doesn't need to exist. I think that it takes the design of Hydreigon and makes it fucking worse. It makes it a flying type instead of a dragon type, which is stupid. I do not like it. I do not think it should exist. Get rid of it. Is it Wo-Chien? Wo-Chien? Fucking A tier. While I may not be Wo-Chien's strongest soldier, I'm a fan of Wo-Chien's strongest soldier. Right? That's a top tier Pokemon. Top tier Pokemon. I love it. I think it's so weird, but so cool at the same time. Big Wo-Chien fan. Chien-Pao, A tier. We needed a snow leopard type Pokemon for forever. Is one of the animals that really needed a pocket monster, and not only did it get one, it got it. I mean, it's possibly the best design you could possibly give to a snow leopard Pokemon. As top tier pocket moning in every way, it is super fucking cool, and I love it. Ting Lu or whatever is fucking C. No, not D tier. C tier to me. I have no opinion on it at all. I look at it and I feel absolutely nothing. However, when I look at Chi-Yu, on the other hand, fucking A tier, baby. Give me the goldfish. Inject it in my veins. It should have never been banned. Give me that Choice Specs Dark Pulse. Fucking fill my body with it. I love it. Love it. The goldfish being a fire dark type is just so cool. They took a goldfish essentially and made it the best possible version. They did the most that I could possibly have expected. They exceeded expectations by such a massive margin. I can't put it anywhere other than A. And then Roaring Moon, which is the Paradox Salamence. D tier. D tier, I don't like it more than regular Salamence. I don't think it should be a dragon dark type. I still think it should be a dragon flying type because of the story of Salamence, about how I wanted to fly for so long and then I got to fly, blah, 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 etc., etc., etc. Don't love that it's a dark type, so I'm going to put it at D tier. And having said that, we are officially done with the dark type mod tier list, which is exciting. Now, having said that, I am going to run the math up for the dark type Pokemon. It's important to remember that bug type received a 2.8 average. Sorry, that took so long. A 2.8 average. All right. So, if you remember, bug type got a 2.8. The dark type, let's do some comparisons before we go in for the ultimate score. So the bug type had 23 pocket monsters in the A tier. Dark type has 35. On the other hand, the dark type had 14 pocket monsters in the F tier. The bug type had 37. So, when it was all said and done, I added up all the points together. The dark type accumulated 323 total points compared to the bug type's 308. Now, I obviously divided these by the total number of pocket monsters ranked, which for the dark type was 91, for the bug type was 110, which obviously for the bug type led it to be a 2.80 average score, and led the dark type to having a rounded answer of 3.55. Bam. Mic drop. Almost a full point average. Better than the bug type. We have our new first place type as of now, with the bug type getting a silver medal because we haven't really ranked that many types yet. And what an amazing showing from the dark type. Being solidly above average. What more can you ask for? It means if you give me a random dark type Pokemon, there's more of a chance that I'll like that Pokemon than I will dislike it or even have no opinion on it. Compared to the bug type, where if you give me a random bug type, random generator bug type, chances I don't like it are higher than liking it or middling. But it's pretty close to middling. And it makes sense. Because the bug type is full of fucking bugs. At a certain point, you start to lose the care for them. They're just bugs. And there's a lot of them. These dark types, because it's a more abstract type, are a lot more creative than the bug type. And I gotta love it for that reason. So, that's it for this episode of the Writer's Block and for this Pokemon type ranking. I hope you guys enjoyed. I know I did. And I'll be back with you next week. Hopefully next week. Let me see what Pokemon type I'm doing for next week. But at the same time, I'm going to give... stop messaging me. Holy shit. I'm going to give you guys essentially what I think a good dark type Pokemon would be. I think there should be a dark type duck Pokemon. You can call it Darkwing Duck. That should be the inspiration. I love Darkwing Duck, and I'd love for it to be made a Pokemon. The next Pokemon type we're having is the Dragon type. I'm going to be dragging my opinions all over your guys' brains. So I hope you guys are ready for the Dragon type tier list next week, hopefully, if everything goes according to plan. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. I hope you guys enjoy yourself. I hope to see you around for other Ballpit uploads, no matter what they may be, or even for another one of these episodes in the future, if nothing that's being uploaded to the channel until then, or since before any of our prior uploads really tickles your fancy in the same way that these videos do. Whatever kind of video you like, I hope we have something that fulfills that for you. And if not, might as well just give a subscribe anyways, because we're always looking to make new videos, something we haven't done before. So maybe, just maybe, we'll come up with something else that tickles your fancy in the same way this video does. All right, I'm out. Deuces.